Hello neighbors, I'm John, your whiskey neighbor, and welcome back to my kitchen table. The next stop on our kind of entrance core range Scotch tour will be a lowland. We're going to talk about Auchentoshan 12-year-old. It's our 12-year-old single malt. Well, thanks for staying with me. As I said in the intro, this is an offering from the Auchentoshan distillery. I think they're right on the edge of Glasgow, so they're considered part of the lowland region of the 6 recognized regions in Scotland that make Scotch. This particular one is their entrance to their core range. It's their 12-year-old. It is released at 40%. It mentions right on it that it is a mix of Scotch that's aged in ex-bourbon and in ex-Oloroso sherry. And if you aren't brand new to Auchentoshan, one of the things that likely you'll know about Auchentoshan is that they are very proud of their triple distillation. So you go to their site or you read any review like I'm talking now, and we'll share with you that characteristic because it is unique to Auchentoshan. Very, very common in Ireland, right, with the Irish whiskies. But not common in Scotch. Usually they go through 2 distillations, whereas Auchentoshan does do 3. And they talk about bringing their spirit up to about 80 or 81%. I can't remember now, but right close to that, which would be a higher ABV level than a double distillation process. What else I would know? I don't know. Again, at 40%, you just assume that it is chill filtered. That is because they want their spirit to look clean and clear regardless of whether you put ice in it or not. And if it is non-chill filtered, but a weak percentage like that, it won't hold up to chilling or icing, and it'll get cloudy, and they don't like that, I guess. So that's why they chill filter it. But if it's colored or not, I don't know. So just like last time when I was talking about Glenfiddich, if you're in Europe and you can tell me, because they have to put on their bottle, why they don't have to put it everywhere, if this has color, let me know. Because it is a little darker than the last 12-year-old that we looked at. Let's see how it smells. On the nose with this one, I actually get kind of a toffee or a caramel fairly quickly, and I would say a little quicker than I usually get in Scotch. Right, Scotch for me tends to have a little more of that orchard fruit up front, unless it's a peated or heavily sherried. But in this case, I can get some of the fruits, but the fruit is taking a back seat to something else, something like a toffee or a honey. Yeah, and if I get fruit, it's even leaning into a little bit of an orange, maybe. Let's see how it tastes. Well, true to its claim to fame, triple distillate, I would say it's a fairly gentle spirit. Thankfully, it picks up in flavor. At first, actually, I almost think it's a little bit thin and a little bit lacking flavor. So it's nice that it's gentle. It's nice that it's light. But thankfully, in the end of the palate or in the second sip, let's make a second sip. Cheers. I can start to get at some layers of flavor. Because I will say it does present a little watery or a little thin. But with time, if you're sipping it over an evening, or even just now, it actually has a longer finish than some 12-year-olds. It stays around. It almost starts to pick up a little bit of spice in the mouth. And I'm definitely left with a little bit of cooked toffee or caramel. And then, yeah, it's funny. I almost then at the end, I can get a little bit of that orchard fruit that normally is all kinds up front in a 12-year-old Scotch. So it's a different experience than the last kind of core range we looked at. Right from nose, a little more spice, a little more toffee. Through the palate, I find it gentle, too gentle, a little clean. But thankfully at the end, my tongue lights up a little bit. Oh, wait, there was some spice there. There were some other tastes and things to get at. It's just so funny that I hardly get them when I'm drinking it, which I get with other scotches. So I don't know. I don't mind this lowland. I think, like my last one was Glenfiddich, and I'll compare it in a second. I'll have a sip of that. So coming up with a star value or a rating of this one is I don't know. I'm shying away from it a little bit because I think a lot of the core ranges are going to end up almost at the same star value, even though they're different and they offer different flavor profiles. So I wouldn't, this particular mini series on kind of entrance scotches, I wouldn't look for a great difference in the star values. This probably sits, well, you know, it's better than that not totally bland. It's better than that 3 stars, but I really can't get more than 3.5 stars, which is really what I rated the Glenfiddich at. So it's kind of the same, but it is a different dram. If you like a very light spirit in the mouth, and you know, maybe if you are used to lighter bourbons or Canadian whiskey, this might be a better entrance scotch, just because, you know, the caramel, the toffee notes are much stronger on this one, and that kind of just that malt sugar. I'm gonna say older oakiness or weak wood isn't as strong in this one. So I think this would have a stronger appeal to more of that Canadian or bourbon drinker. But it's really still not a very big scotch. So it sits around 3.5. But as I said I would, you know, I'm actually going to compare this kind of entrance line to the Glenfiddich each time. So it's not a full-blown comparison. It's just so that I'm not going from memory every week. You know, the nose is just so different. Yeah, the Auchentoshan has that toffee, caramel, cooked, and this light, sprightly, fruit, clean, crisp, all those things, right? And while it's stronger in the palate, it's also somehow less spicy, less coating. Although I complained this one was thin. Now I'm all over the map. But this one for sure, if you like just clean cut orchard fruits, here you go. If you want something that's got a little more of that toffee, honey, caramel kind of in it, it's still by no means you know, bourbon or Canadian whiskey, but I think you'll find those notes in the Auchentoshan 12-year. Thanks for staying with me to the end. Join your whiskey neighbor. If you like what's going on, feel free to subscribe, and hopefully I'll find time to get these out about once a week. You guys take care.